and this is your latest transfer news, and we've got lots to talk about because it is Monday night, so it's a call-in as well. Lots to get in with, but we're going to start off with that number in the top right-hand corner, 499,217. We are very, very close to an epic 500,000 subscribers on the United Stand, so make sure you're sharing the video, subscribing if you are new, and, we could be hitting that time. We could be hitting that very, very, very soon. So get involved with that. But let's start off with Harry Maguire has apparently put in a Manchester United, not a Manchester United, well, yes, a Manchester United transfer request because it's a request to come to Manchester United. So this is coming from J Percy Telegraph, who's like a Midlands correspondent for the Telegraph. What he's saying is it's not technically an official transfer request, although really I think it is. What Harry Maguire is saying that he wants to go to one of the clubs that have offered money for him, which is Manchester United. It's not going to be like a disrespectful downing of tools, etc. Leicester will expect him to be professional, but Harry Maguire wants to leave. It's going to be very interesting to see because Leicester apparently will let him go as long as they get their valuation. Now, there's been different things said about what that valuation might be. Some people are talking about 90 million. Some people are saying 80 million. Some people are saying it's 60 million with 20 million add-ons. I'm going to stick to what I was told on July the 4th when I did the video. You can go and watch it. And that is that if Manchester United go above £75 million, they will get Harry Maguire, as simple as that. And I think that this deal will happen. I mean, there is even talk, and I don't want to misquote, but I did read something, I think it was maybe Duncan Castle's podcast, saying that Harry Maguire's now left Leicester training and he's going to have his medical in the next 48 hours. So we'll see. Is Duncan Castle's jumping a little bit early but right again? Is it just about being first and not necessarily getting the exact date for when he signs? I feel it's going to be done by Friday, and I feel that then it's a question of whether he goes on the tour, considering our last tour game is on the Thursday in Beijing. Is it worth flying out to China to have a little bit of a train to play half a game against Spurs, or does he just train alone? So it'd be interesting to see whether United actually elongate the transfer for that purpose, because if they did sign 2 or 3 players later on this week, which they won't, what's the point in getting them flying across the world? They may as well link up with United afterwards. But yeah, that's the latest with Harry Maguire at the moment. Definitely development there. Obviously, Flex did his vlog at lunchtime from Perth. He's over there with some journalists, very credible ones like Simon Peach and Simon Stone. And I think it was Simon Stone from the BBC saying there's been no bids for Manchester United after the 70 million bid, which was about a week ago. So, look, it's developing. United are slow. United are slow at transfers, and there's no point in being impatient or expecting it to happen very, very quickly. That is just the way Manchester United work with transfers, and I think that's the way it's going to work on this deal. I think it's going to happen, and I think that Harry Maguire will be a good signing for Manchester United. It surprises me how many people are not in on this deal, and I actually put out look, we're going to have the call in, so maybe somebody can pick this point up. All I'm going to say is, and we'll pick it up in the show and I'll have my say a little bit later, all I'm going to say is, if you can name me 10 better centre-backs in Europe than Harry Maguire, you're a liar. I think he's just about in the top 10 centre-backs in in Europe right now. And this caused a massive stir. People thought I was actually winding them up and baiting them on a Monday morning. I absolutely believe it. So we'll pick that up a little bit later in the show. Because we've got a bit Geordie-like. We will pick it up a little bit later in the show. There he is, old Harry. Because I truly believe that. But it's more of a debate point for later. What about Perry Williams says, I don't think we're going to sign Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's a call in tonight, so we are going to go more in depth with things. I think the big sort of topics we need to discuss before we start taking the calls are you surprised with the lack of transfers in the Premier League, says Exus TV. I'm a little bit surprised. In fact, I'm going to do a video tomorrow on That's Football for anybody who watches my sort of generic football channel, because I am a little bit surprised. And Langley says you've gone too far there, Goldbridge, with your 10. He's in the top 10. But man like Drew says Maguire's in the top 5. So we'll pick that up again in a minute. I've got an itchy boob. I don't know why that is. Nice top this, isn't it, actually? I've not worn this on before. Mark, how do I become a United Stand member? Says Daniel Tarrant. There should be a join button if it's available in your country. You just click the join button and then you can become a member. But look, let's talk about Bruno Fernandes, because a lot of people are talking about that. We're going to take some of your calls as well. I also want to just say as well, for people who are here early in the video, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference is at 3 a.m. UK time. It's at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm not even going to moan about it, because there's people all around the world who watch this show and say, I get up at 3 a.m. to watch you play at home to Cardiff and lose. So, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference is at 3 a.m. These press conferences are really good. I enjoy them, and we always do a reaction to them. So Look, the UK lot, you might bottle it, you might not be hardcore, but I will be going live straight after that at about 3:30 in the morning, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference, because we're hardcore on this channel. We always have been, and we always will be. So I will be doing an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference. I'm not going to wait till 7 o'clock and get up with a coffee and see what he said and be 3 hours behind. We'll do it as it happens, because I'm intrigued as to what he's got to say. So I will be doing an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference at about 3:30 a.m. UK time, which is in about 7 hours time, I suppose, isn't it? But let's bring it back to the show. Shout out to Gilroy, California. Can you imagine a midfield of Pogba, Savic and Fernandes all have the ability to attack and make challenges? Sam May, thanks for the contribution. I think that Milinkovic, Savic, Fernandes and Pogba on paper is a midfield to get you happy, but in reality it wouldn't be a good midfield because none of them are centre defensive midfielders. Pogba could do it, Milinkovic, Savic could do it, but you take away so much of their game. You do need a CDM. My ideal CDM, I was asked about this today, I'll give you the honest answer. I think Ndidi would be absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, he plays for Leicester. They ain't going to sell us 2 players. Congratulations on the soon-to-be 500,000 subs. Love all the content, Mark. Keep up the good work, says Eden Turin. And here we go. United are playing a dangerous game. If they bid low enough for Fernandes or Maguire, it could trigger an equal bid from a competitor who has Champions League football, says Mark Goodwin. Good point. So let's talk about Bruno Fernandes. This is from The Independent, and they're basically saying that Manchester United are preparing their first bid for Bruno Fernandes of £50 million, but it will happen in the next 3 weeks. And this sent a lot of United fans into meltdown. Now, first of all, it's just a story from an outlet that will have been right on things in the past and wrong on a lot of things in the past, because most outlets are wrong 80% of the time and, you know, they get things right 20% of the time. So it could be total nonsense, but it is a bit of a weird story. United are preparing their first bid of £50 million in the next 3 weeks. And I thought about it and I thought, what sort of story is that? Like, why? Manchester United, we're preparing a bid FC, aren't we? We're preparing a bid in 3 weeks' time. It's like me saying to the wife, I'm going to kiss you at some point in the next 3 weeks, so get ready for it. It could happen at any time. Oh, it could be tomorrow after EastEnders, or it could be in a couple of weeks when we wake up. You know, it could be. It doesn't mean anything, does it? Like, let's have a bit of spontaneity. Let's grab Bruno Fernandes and give him a proper kiss. I'm merging my analogies there, but you know what I mean. It's like Manchester United are preparing a bid in the next 3 weeks. I think the transfer window closes 3 weeks on Thursday, so we need to be a little bit more decisive than that. Neo Heckerman says, congratulations on almost 500,000 subscribers, thank you. And Aaron White's made a contribution. Cheers, Aaron. But look, I think that Manchester United, a lot of people are talking about, I'm saying Harry Maguire's in the top 10 centre-backs in Europe. We will definitely, one of our callers will definitely be asked about this, and then we'll get the debate going. But what I want to say is this. The Bruno Fernandes £50 million offer, somebody actually said today, I can't remember what outlet it is, so I'm not going to humiliate them. They'd said that United have already made bids for Bruno Fernandes and they've been rejected. We haven't made any bid for Bruno Fernandes, because if we had made a bid for Bruno Fernandes, we've ruined it. Because as soon as somebody has a bid rejected for over 35 million euros, the Sporting Lisbon have got to pay Bruno Fernandes 5 million. We've spoken about this a lot over the last few weeks. So nobody's bid for Bruno Fernandes, and United haven't bid for Bruno Fernandes, because if they get the bid wrong, so if Manchester United bid £50 million for Bruno Fernandes and Sporting Lisbon say, no, we'd rather pay the 5 million to Bruno and not sell him because we're not taking 50 million, then United have screwed it. They've almost got to negotiate with Sporting Lisbon to, what would you accept? No, we're not going to offer that. What would you, and that's why it might take a little bit of time. But also, I've got to be totally honest, I think if you were to sign Bruno Fernandes this week, if we signed him tomorrow, you get him on a plane after his medical, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. He goes straight to Singapore. He arrives on Saturday, so he doesn't play. He trains with the team, but has to then fly to Beijing to play half a game on Thursday, a week on Thursday. I don't think any new signing links up with the tour now. I just don't think they do. I think any new signing is basically linking up with the team after the Spurs game back. Are they flying straight to Norway? I don't know. So that's what's going to happen with these signings now. So in some ways, it does give us about a week and a half to tie up these other transfers, because I don't think we're going to get anybody joining the tour now who is a new signing. I think the tour is what it is. Rohit Raya says, hey Mark, with the start of the season closing in, when would be the time United block all bids for Pogba? Well, yeah, let's bring Pogba in. He's just come onto the screen and Rohit's just said that. So the Guardian are basically saying that Paul Pogba is looking more likely to stay at Manchester United. This is due to the fact that no bids have been made for Paul Pogba, which I think people do get a little bit obsessed with bids. I don't know what you lot think. I think people get a bit obsessed with bids. Like, there's not been any bid for Paul Pogba. Well, so what? It only takes one bid on the week before the transfer window closes to blow that apart. So I was more intrigued by that. You know, Real Madrid might want to go up to 120 million, but United want more like 170 million. Which I've got to say, fair play to United if you think you can get 170 million. He's not worth 170 million. I think more 150 is what he's worth in today's market. He's not worth 170, no way. But if United are demanding that, it's like Paul Pogba's he's going to have to be in the old handcuffs, isn't he? He's stuck at United if United refuse to negotiate, and then it's over to Pogba. I said this morning on the Transfer Daily. I don't think this Pogba story has run its course yet. If he is a player that wants to leave, which we think he is, then it's something's gonna have to happen with it. So yeah, at the moment he's looking likely like he's gonna stay, but it depends what Raiola and him do. If they really force their position, United might have to sell him. So we'll see what happens with it. But, you know, at the moment it's looking good for Pogba. Matt Rush says Maguire is quality, 100% better than anything at the club. If we get Fernandes, we need an extra midfielder. Otherwise, it's dead with FC. I mean, I think you're right, Matt. I do think you're right. I think that if we only got Bruno Fernandes in, we're still a little bit weak in the midfield. But if you think about the team that finished the season, okay, we've lost Valencia. No one's bothered about that. We lost Herrera. That did hurt us. But Herrera for Bruno Fernandes, I would say Bruno Fernandes is a better player, so we're better there. Joe Young's out the team for Wan-Bissaka, so we're better there. Maguire comes in the team, so we're better there. So look, even if we only get Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire now, it's not the summer I think it should have been, but we're still better than we were last season. We've got a proper right back, we've got a decent centre midfielder in Bruno Fernandes, and we've got a better centre back than any of our centre backs who actually can win things in the air and is a bit of a leader. And also you've got Daniel James coming in, so you know we'd be in a better situation than we were that we ended last season, but it's not as strong as it needs to be. Raul Ibarra says, would you be interested in starting a Kickstarter for 500,000 to buy a stake in Salford City? I'm willing to throw in hundreds. What about others? You can't buy a Kickstarter. You can't buy shares in Salford City. They're owned by the class of '92. They're multimillionaires, and the bloke who owns it is even richer than them. Here we go. There was a comment here. My friend goes out with Maguire's sister. Oh, Discord, says Nathaniel Archer. Well, there you go. Well, look, what I know about Harry Maguire is what I said on July the 4th, and my information was coming from sort of my youth, really. I grew up in like in the East Midlands, more on the Leicester side, so I know some people around there, and I know people. I can't say too much, but what I was told was Harry Maguire will come to Manchester United. Well, the video's there. It's July the 4th. Harry Maguire confirmed ? Because I did a live video on it, and basically it went along the lines of this. I'd been told that Harry Maguire wants to go to Manchester United or Manchester City. I mean, obviously Man City's attractive because of the league titles and Guardiola, etc. But Manchester United's a big step up as well, and Man City are not going to go above 65 million, so they're out of the running. So it's about Manchester United. Harry Maguire wants to make that move, but Leicester won't let him go unless they get a deal over 75 million, and that was the story back in July. And United negotiate slowly. So, look, there's a pre-season game for Leicester City tomorrow, Tuesday night. So let's see what involvement Harry Maguire is. But I think this story will escalate over the next few days. Mino and Paul's words have cut too deep, in my opinion. No return, says Ryan FDW. Well, we're going to start taking your calls. But what I want to say in relation to taking your calls is, Harry Maguire, what do you think about it? And we will get the debate going about whether he's one of the top 10 European centre-backs, which I think he is. Bruno Fernandes, you can talk about that. Paul Pogba, are you happy that he's going to be staying or not? And anything else you want to talk about, really. Also, just a little bit of quick news just before I do grab my earpiece and start taking calls. Fred got married only yesterday. So Fred should have been back in training on July the 1st. He's had 2 weeks off of July. He got married on the weekend, as far as I know. So he's had 2 weeks before his wedding. And what's he having now? Another week afterwards. So 3 weeks. And he's already had June off as well. I mean, I think, and it's very interesting because Galatasaray want Fred on loan. And I'm just wondering, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is he really sat there in Perth going, I'm happy with this situation where Fred has had the first 3 weeks off pre-season to get married? Now, the circumstances of him getting married, fine, whatever, you can agree or disagree. But the point is, he didn't get married till this weekend. And I think he's on honeymoon now. I don't know what the situation is, but the reality is his Instagram was putting pictures out at the weekend. That's 2 weeks into pre-season. 2 weeks into pre-season. And it's not that, whether I agree with it or not, it's not going to be the breakthrough season for Fred, is it? When he's had nearly 2 months off. I mean, it just isn't. Pogba's the most talented diva in the Premier League, says Lamina. Right, okay, we're going to start taking some of your calls. Remember, smash a like on the video and let's start taking some of your calls. Just other things as well. Darmian has been linked with a move away again. It's been 80 years. We've been listening to Darmian leaving Manchester United. He's got to go this summer, hasn't he? He's got to go this summer, surely. He will go this summer. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was quoted as saying, I'm building a new squad with new coaches and I believe so much in this project that we've got. So we'll be getting more from Ole on his press conference reaction, which is happening overnight, which we'll be reacting to. But let me just talk you through this Discord because a lot of people don't know how it works. So very, very quickly, this is the way that we take calls on the United Stand now. So if I knock this up for you, the link's in the video description to join Discord, the United Stand Discord. You can't join it any other way. You can only do it through that link because it's an invite link. Once you are in to the United Stand Discord, you'll see that this here is like your normal chat group. So we've got a general chat. So you click on that. People are chatting away all the time, 24/7. It's a bit like an active vlog. Just type away, like I'm going to say here, hello. So that goes in there. People go, oh, it's Goldbridge in the chat group. And you've got all sorts of different things you can chat about. Transfers, match day, the lot. So there's a couple of thousand people in there, so you can do that. On the call-in shows, you've got these. You've got the call-in queues. And if I go in here now, people will probably be chatting away. If I can get in there. I can't get in there. But basically, if you go in these chat groups here, people are chatting away 24/7 from all around the world. There's loads and loads of people in there. And they're your calling queue. So you just drop into a queue and you just have a chat with people in there. Simple as that. Like I've just dropped in here now. People are actually talking. They'll be thinking, oh, what's Goldbridge doing in here? So that is how you do it, and you can chat with people all day about it and stuff like that. So that's how that works as well. I'm just going to drop into another queue as well, and we can hear people in there as I move myself down. And there's people in there, and then into this one, and I'm just moving my way up, and then that's how it works for you. So you can go in there all times of the day, and see people saying hello, Mark, and all stuff like that. So I'm dropping myself into the live show queue now. Just get in there. The link's in the video description. Have yourself a little bit of fun with it and get accustomed to it that way. But that's how it works. Watch it back at another time to see. So I'm in the live queue now. Hopefully Paul's going to pull me somebody in for the first call. It's as simple as that, and we'll take our first call. I think I actually have to pull them in. I've just forgot. Okay, so waiting room. We got Jazz. Okay, let's try Jazz. Hello, mate. You're live on the United Stand. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Okay, I'm just gonna chuck this question at you because a lot of people have been disagreeing with this all day. I think Harry Maguire is one of the top 10 centre backs in Europe at the moment. What is your opinion on Harry Maguire?
Yeah, I kind of disagreed with your statement there. I feel like he's the top 10 centre backs in the Premier League, but in Europe, not really.
Phil Jones is probably top 10 in the Premier League, though. Come on, he is.
I feel like there are many better centre backs, but not many better centre backs that fit what we're trying to do for Man United.
That's a good point, yeah.
So I feel like Harry Maguire is basically a perfect fit for us. There are other better centre backs, but more or less they're either too old, too slow. Probably wouldn't fit Ollie's tactics. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, I mean, just to come back on that, because I don't want to dwell on it too much, and I think a lot of people are going to agree with you more than they are going to be on me. But I think that's what I was getting at. Really, it's not about on reputation. Harry Maguire probably isn't quite top 10 in Europe, but he is England's best centre back. Gareth Southgate will confirm that. He's also doesn't make many mistakes. And he's also exactly what we need. And I think I put him in the top 10 in Europe now because for what Manchester United need. If we got Chiellini or Bonucci, I mean, they're slower than my dead gran. They're no good. Godin's 33, he wouldn't suit the Premier League. So they might be better on reputation, but they're not right for us now. Of course Van Dijk's better. Of course Varane's better. Of course Koulibaly's better. And there's probably one or two better. But I think he is in the top 10 in Europe right now for what United need, especially in relation to dominance in the air and being a bit of a leader.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely agree with that. I feel like, he's pretty much the perfect fit for us, to be honest.
Do you think we're going to get him? I mean, look, I'm very confident. Do you feel it's a deal that's going to be done?
I feel like it will be done, but probably the usual Edward will stall, trying to get the best deal out of it.
Yeah, standard. And what about, where do you sit with the Paul Pogba then? The Guardian is saying it's looking likely that he's going to stay because United are going to price out anybody even putting a bid. Of course, the issue is whether Pogba actually wants to stay. United can be stubborn, but is it right to keep a player who doesn't want to be here? Where do you sit on Pogba? Because obviously the problem is trying to replace a player of that quality.
What I was really thinking about that is I feel like, firstly, United should really sort out the deals for Maguire and Fernandes. Then from there, sit Pogba down, basically ask him what he really wants to do. If he wants to leave, I'll say let him leave. Because obviously, our transfer window closes on the 8th, I think. And obviously, the rest of Europe, pretty much their transfer window closes at the end of August. So if Real Madrid literally wait until after August the 8th and Pogba does go, we won't be able to sign his replacement. So I feel like we should basically sign Maguire, Fernandes, sit Pogba down. If he wants to leave, let him leave, buy his replacement, and then carry on with the rebuild.
I mean, look, that's something you just remind me actually. In relation to the Bruno Fernandes £50 million bid story from the Independent, what they've said is what we've sort of been saying as fans. They're basically saying that Bruno Fernandes' deal is nothing to do whether Pogba goes or not. He was a signing that United have wanted, so if Pogba goes, they'd have to bring someone else in. Is that there's mention of like maybe a Christian Eriksen? Some people quite like James Maddison. Is there anybody out there that if Pogba goes, because Bruno Fernandes has got to come anyway, whether he goes or not, that you think that's the sort of player? I mean, Saul Niguez has been mentioned from Atletico Madrid. It will be difficult to replace him. Is there anyone you sort of think that would fill that void?
I don't think there was anyone that can really fill the void that Pogba brings to the team, because Pogba is literally a unique kind of midfielder. But I would say if you get maybe a Maddison and Eriksen and complement him with obviously Fernandes, probably Longstaff, CDM, or whoever we can get CDM, like Matic should basically lead the team because like he's too slow. But we don't need a like for like replacement for him. We just need a midfield that works for us, and then we're sorted, to be honest.
Definitely. Thanks for calling in, pal. Really good points. And please do call in again. I'll drop you back into that queue.
Problem, Mark. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Just to pick up on a couple of things there, because there's people in the chat going mad. We can talk about Harry Maguire being top 10 in the Europe, but I'll stand by my point. I really do not think you can name 10 centre-backs in Europe that are better than Harry Maguire right now for Manchester United. Chiellini, Bonucci, donkeys. They're too slow. They get destroyed in the Premier League. We're talking about for Manchester United, the circumstances right now. Would you want Chiellini or Bonucci or Godin at Manchester United over Harry Maguire? Because if you do, you don't watch those players. You don't realise how old they are. They need a Zimmer frame. Jamie Vardy will absolutely destroy them. Harry Maguire bloody puts Vardy in his pocket every bloody training session. Ramos is good, but he's coming towards the end of his career and he's reckless. Harry Maguire very rarely makes mistakes. And you know what? One of the best stats of Harry Maguire last year, if it wasn't for Harry Maguire, our biggest rivals would have won the title. Because he got that goal for Leicester, didn't he, away in January to get the draw. So I think he's a very good player. I think some people just don't want him because he's not fashionable. As I said, if he was called Harry-O Maguire or Harry-O Mancini, everyone would bloody love him. If he was playing for Fiorentina, everyone would bloody love him. And that's the point. He's dominant in the air. He doesn't make many mistakes. He can bring the ball out from the back, and he's a leader. And that's what Manchester United need right now. And Van Dijk's better. I said this going into the summer. United needed, if they could get away with it, United needed to buy a top 5 centre-back in the world. Koulibaly was there. Some people were scratching around Varane. Koulibaly was there, and we haven't got that done. If you can't get that top 5 centre-back, which we've got no right to do, because we're not even top 5 in our country, you've then got to look at the next 5. And I think Harry Maguire just about gets into the next top 5 in Europe. And people can say Alderweireld. I don't think there's a massive difference between Toby Alderweireld and Harry Maguire, apart from Alderweireld plays for Spurs and Harry Maguire plays for Leicester. It's snobbery. I've had people saying Lindelof's better than Harry Maguire. Based on what? One good season for Manchester United in a team that was crap at the back. We haven't seen how good Lindelof is because he's been a good player in a bad defence. Let's see what he's all about. But I think Harry Maguire comes in as a better centre-back. people have said Joe Gomez at Liverpool, who has had a handful of games, basically, really, hasn't he? And he's spent most of the time injured. He's very good, but you can't start saying somebody's a better centre-back on potential. What we're going to say, Twan Seavy's better than Harry Maguire. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that it's creating a debate in our fan base, and I'm loving the fact that it's creating a debate outside our fan base, because I think when rival fans are getting itchy feet about it, you're probably doing something right, Harry. Well done. Anyway, Shavesh Singh says, say what people will about Maguire, but getting him would make our defence only behind City and Liverpool in the Premier League. Now, we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka too. Well, a lot of people were saying about Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. Last season, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was one of the best up-and-coming right-backs in the Premier League. The minute he signs for Manchester United, he's just an overpaid player you've got from Crystal Palace. It's the normal nonsense. Anyway, let's get another caller. We've only got one in the queue, Paul, so I assume you're going to get me some more. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand.
Hey, hello Mark, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, not bad. First time looking for me.
Good. What is it we want to talk about, mate?
Just general, fan expectations. See, for me, summer window so far, I'm quite happy with it in terms of player profile. Our approach. We clearly are doing something different.
Yeah.
We are clearly going into a different direction. It might not fit in with people's timelines, and even I would like to have had at least one other player right now. But I'm happy. If we get Maguire over at the line in the next week or so, that's 3 very good profile players, and it's a clear shift in the direction, or a clear shift in our approach.
Just to clarify just so for everybody listening at home, what do you think that direction, that the new direction Manchester United have gone down? What do you think?
It looks to me that we are trying to build a team now, almost not a spine, because these necessarily aren't the central players, but definitely a team that's going to maybe sort of last. They've still got something to prove. They're hungry. They're looking to make that next step in their careers. This is not like players that necessarily.
Oh, I don't know what's happened there. We've lost Jim, but yeah, I do agree with what he was saying in the sense that, are you still there, Jim? Hello? I wonder if it's me. Sometimes it's me. Let's have a look. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? I'm on my own. Let's try and get someone else in. Hello, you live on the United Stand. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Mark.
How you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just going to pick up that last point, and then you can take that, and then you can ask me whatever you want. But the previous caller there was just basically saying he's quite happy with the transfer window because you've got a new approach from Manchester United. Instead of signing the Di Marias,
instead of signing all these glamour, all the Galacticos, I remember 2014-15 season, we brought in Blint, Di Maria, Falcao on loan. We thought we were gonna be up there. We thought we were gonna win the Premier League again, but then it just didn't work out. What this new approach is it's just showing. It's just giving us a glimmer of hope. It's a different approach. It just feels new. When something feels new, you're gonna.
I certainly feel
you know what I mean.
I think from doing the shows maybe 2-3 weeks ago, a lot of frustration, a lot of impatience, and I think a lot of that was coming from the fact that Ollie was like, I want it done by July the 1st. I think what's happened over the last week or so is that fans are like, yeah, it would have been nice to get some of them transfer business done, but let's push it back till August the 8th. There is that patience there, and let's judge it then.
Yeah, I think it came after the first game against Perth. I mean, we saw how Ole was trying to play the team with the tactics and stuff, and it was pretty good. It was 2-0, but if for the people that watch the full 90 minutes, you will see what Ole wants to do, and I could easily see from the team. I think it was 4-3-1 at times. I would see where Koulibaly will fit in there, where Maguire will fit in there, where Bruno Fernandes will fit in there. So for the people that have the patience and they see that, those are the fans that will have the patience for Oli. Personally, I'm giving them 3 transfer windows.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're coming across a bit loud, mate. I don't know why it is. I don't know whether you're close to your mic or something, but everyone.
Yeah. I think it's clear. I feel it clears my mic.
Yeah, no worries.
Is this all right?
Yeah, that's better. So where do you stand on the Paul Pogba thing? Let's ask you about that. What you know? Ollie at the weekend saying he's under consideration for captain. Obviously, Raiola has said that his client wants to leave. We're hearing today that it's unlikely he's going to leave because no one's going to pay the fee for him. Where do you stand on Paul Pogba and Manchester United?
Well, if you see my comments in the past United stand videos and most likely in rants comments, because you know how rants is towards Pogba.
Yeah.
It's
he's in love with him.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different to how you are to Luke Shaw, but anyways.
Yeah, no, we all have our favourites, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, if someone wants to leave, you let him. But if in this case, if it's someone like Pogba, I mean, like, it's not. I think we have to take into consideration whether Pogba wants a new challenge for himself, whether he just wants whether he wants the best. Let me rephrase: whether he wants the best for him for his career, or whether he just wants the best for Man United. Because some people forget that he's our guy. He's just as much as a United player as Lingard or Rashford. So honestly, I wanted to say, because if you want to rebuild, you need to keep your best players. And if you're gonna keep De Gea, you're gonna have to keep Paul Pogba. But then again, it goes back into whether he wants to be here or not.
You know what, as well, I've got to be fair to Pogba and say that I said at the end of the season, if Paul Pogba decides he wants to leave Manchester United, and he still decides, he's training with that team at the moment. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says to him, look, I'm trying to get Bruno Fernandes, I'm trying to get Sean Longstaff, and I'm going to get Harry Maguire. And Pogba says, I still don't think that's good enough, I want to go. I respect Pogba for that, because he's got to do what's best for him as well. If he sees that it's going to be another 2-3 years of his career wasted, then... But like you say, if he sees there's a project, he might stay.
Yeah, De Gea has that in his mind as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's United's. United can either force him to stay, or they can try and make him stay by saying, "Look, this is what we're doing. We want to be." That
so like, we're gonna be bringing in these players, and these players are gonna make you play better, and it's gonna make Man United better.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers for calling in, pal. We got there in the end. Really good points, and please do call again.
Yeah, cheers, man. Go, boys. Remember, I might bring a cake, so just beware.
All right, are you coming to the do? Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you there. Pal.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for calling. That is the August the 8th. That is the August the 8th United stand get together we've got down in London town. It's our £500,000 get together. I wish it was 500,000 subscriber get together, which I think, considering it's July the 15th and the due isn't till August the 8th, and we've only got 700 subscribers to go, I think we're going to make it. So please do subscribe if you are new. By the way, we are in that. You know what? I was talking to Jorty about this today. And Flex. I can't. This is actually quite a nice time. This 499,000 subscriber bit is almost like, I can't believe we're going to hit 500,000 subscribers as a channel. I cannot believe it. And I hope you're excited as we are, because it's always been about this, about the fan cams, about your opinion. It has always been this right from the start, with the live comments with like 10 people watching. I remember the very first shows we were doing once a week. We used to do once a week on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock with me, Kev, Martin, Rich, Alex was involved as well. And it was literally like just chatting about United once a week with about 10 people watching. And I look at that counter now, and I see it moving up to 500,000 subscribers, 500,000. And I see over 10,000 people watching. And I see, Flex is out in Perth with Josh filming stuff. And I think, what have we built? And I say we, I mean you. What have we built? Because without you, your comments, your live contributions, your comments in below, it just doesn't happen. So it is a we. We're not backed by TV companies. We're not pretend fan channels with bloody TV companies behind us or any of that crap. This actually did start where people if there's somebody out there who remembers watching the first few shows when we had like 10, 15 people watching, You all know what it was. You saw the wall with my stickers behind me. It was just Skype show, live Google Hangout. And now look where we are. It is pure and it matters. And that is what, you know, Flex was talking to somebody from Manchester United the other day, and they were absolutely bang on. And they said, you know, you can't, we get it. You know, we get it. We get the fact that you are pure and honest about your opinions towards fans and towards players. We understand that. Obviously, it means we can't ever let you interview the players because, you know, the stuff that gets said, but we get what you are and you can't stop being that. And that's what the United stand is. It's not about, you know, faking it for likes so we can get an interview with bloody Juan Mata or something like that. I personally love Juan Mata, but I think we should have got rid of him this summer. That's my opinion. It might not be your opinion, but that's what makes this channel what it is. Thoughts on Fred missing out on the pre-season, says Jarvis Cocker. Well, maybe somebody could have an opinion on that in the live comments as well, because I would love to get some... let's see if we can get another call. Here we got Jack. He'll have a say. Hey, Jack, can you hear me?
How's it going, Mark?
It's going really well. I'm just going to chuck a question at you here because it was one of the topics. So, Fred... I think he got married this weekend. He'd had all June off. We are 2 weeks into pre-season. I don't know when he's coming back. He's had basically 2 months off. He's got a big season ahead of him. What's your thoughts on Fred and his future at Manchester United?
His future is going to be a rocky one, I think, because, yeah, he's not training with the squad. He's not in pre-season. The last season, he didn't have a good season, really. And I think it's like he's not wanting to bond with the squad much. I understand he's got married and stuff like that, but he's had the whole summer to get married. I don't understand why you'd wait until mid-July when the season ended a long time ago. It just doesn't add up. I just think he's going to have a rough season. Well, what do you think on him?
Well, apparently the wedding, Manchester United knew about the wedding when we signed him a year ago, and it was booked in for July because the Copa America was on, and obviously he was part of the Brazil squad when we signed him. Of course, he wasn't part of the Brazil squad for the Copa America, so he had all of June off, and then he doesn't come back to pre-season. I think it's an unfortunate set of events, but I just think if I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm like, how can this lad, who I'm unsure of anyway, be part of my plans when he's not even here? I just think
exactly.
He might find it hard.
Oh, of course it will. It's going to damage his season a little bit. He'll probably get the odd game again, but if we look to buy all these midfielders, then he definitely won't get a look in, I don't think. He's not helping himself, put it that way. He's not had the best season when he came. I hope he improves, but I feel like we overpaid for him. 50 million was a bit much. I thought we was going to get a good player. So far, we've not had none of that, which is a bit gutting, to be fair.
I just got the feeling with Fred, and I've said it a couple of times, I liked him. I liked it when he played a few games towards the end of March, and then as soon as the players were back fit, Ollie dropped him, and I thought, he don't fancy him. So I don't see, whether it's this summer or next summer, I think Fred will not becoming a good player. I hope he does, because I see bits in him that I quite like, but I just get the impression, the way he's been handled by Solskjaer in the short time he's been there, he doesn't rate him, and that's down to Ollie. I hope I'm proved wrong, but I don't think he is. And you mentioned it himself. If we bring Longstaff and Fernandes in, he already likes McTominay. I think Matic is going to play Pogba. So I don't see Fred getting much game time next year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and if obviously it's rumours, but if Savic comes in, then that's another midfielder. Bruno Fernandes comes in, that's another midfielder. Fred's just slowly getting pushed down that pecking order until he's sold. That's what will end up happening. He needs to, unless he gets his odd games he plays, and he plays phenomenal. That's the only thing I can see him coming back from, really.
What do you feel about Harry Maguire then, the Harry Maguire signing?
I love him. I think what great business that is if we got him. Yeah, understandable, 80 million, so expensive, but that's 2019. Every player, Longstaff, what's he being mentioned for? 15 million? Every player's getting overpriced these days. He'll be brilliant. And people saying he's not in the top 10, they're living in dreamland. Of course he is. He's an absolute unit. And it's because he's English. Most English players, because they're English, aren't as good because they have to have these high expectations. And that's why I feel like people were probably judging him, saying, no, he's not top 10, there's all these other players. But if he was Spanish, French, doing the same stuff he does, and like won a league with a lower team like he did with Leicester, people will be raving about him. But because he's English, not as many people do. And I think that's just the way it goes. I feel for him on that behalf. But if we sign him, brilliant. Him, Lindelof, that is a great partnership right there. I think will happen. Well, are you excited for Maguire?
I am, and I think, just what you were saying there. I mean, I've had it out on Twitter today saying that I think that Harry Maguire is one of the top 10 centre-backs in Europe.
100%.
And I still believe it, but a lot of people really don't believe it. And I think if you don't believe it, then you're basically saying that England, a team that came third in the World Cup and a team that got to the Final Four of the Nations League, you're basically saying that England's best centre-back isn't in the top 10 centre-backs in Europe. I think it's snobbery.
Yeah,
I think it's snobbery.
It's because he's not English. Yeah, 100%. And it's definitely the English card. Like, because all the foreign players, they have one good game, and that's it. They're branded as these up-and-coming players. But when you're English, you have to have a blinding season consecutively for a couple of seasons until people start going, yeah, that's the player you want. And it's just, Maguire is that player, but it is snobbery. And I think when we get him, if we do get him, we're going to concede less goals. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Him and Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof and Luke Shaw. I think, do you know what? What a great back four that is. You cannot go wrong with that at all.
Definitely. Well, cheers for calling in, Jack. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure
no worries, fella.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Set up. We have got a bit of a problem tonight, and I don't know what it is, so I will stop with the calls for the moment, because the last couple of calls have just been ridiculously loud, even in my ears, and the first two were absolutely fine, so I don't really know what's gone on there. But let's take a few super chats. It's only our third show back on Discord, so I'm sure we'll figure it out. Philip Burtonwood says, the rest of the squad have had a head start. Fred needs to hit the ground running when he's back, make or break this year. And Alexis Sanchez is going to be in that same situation, Philip Burtonwood, as well, isn't he? These are players that are, for different reasons, they're not been part of the pre-season. Mina Morner says, with Fred, is there a cultural thing when it comes to long weddings, etc.? Otherwise, he could have come with us for training and then headed out to the wedding. I don't know, because I think he only got married this weekend. So if he only got married this weekend, then what's he been doing for 2 weeks? Just waiting out in Brazil. I think United agreed this when they signed him. I think that's the problem. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's hands are probably tied, because what is he supposed to do? This is a breakthrough season for you and you're not here. But as I said, I just get the feeling that he's not fancied anyway. I don't think Mourinho particularly rated him, and Mourinho bought him. So I don't think Fred's going to be the player that we thought we were getting, to be honest. And I think he will end up going down as a flop. And how sad that's going to be. United's record with Brazilian players will continue to be a poor one. I mean, I thought Rafael did quite well, the right back, but we got him relatively young. But other than that, our record with youth players, it's good with youth players. With Brazilian players, it is shocking. It really is. And I think that Manchester United and Fred, the way I look at it at the moment, I don't think it's going to end particularly well. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh God, what's going on here now? I'm a bloody screen's frozen. There we go. Come on. Yeah, we get it back. So, look, Harry Maguire's looking like it's going to happen. Bruno Fernandes, I think it's going to happen. I mean, the Bruno Fernandes thing, realistically, we should not be as patient as we are with it. We should be quite concerned about it, because it's been running for ages and ages and ages. But I think the fact that it has been running for ages and ages is starting to make me feel a little bit more relaxed about it, because if United messed up this Bruno Fernandes deal, and let's be honest, I saw somebody on Twitter today saying, show me one credible person that has said that we're in for Bruno Fernandes, because I've not seen anything credible about it. And I was tempted to say me, because I've been saying it since March, but no, that's a joke. Look, if people want to think I'm credible or whatever, that's fine. I'll be proven right or wrong this summer on Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes, but I have been saying it since March. But Flex interviewed Simon Peach yesterday, tier 1 journalist. What did he say about Bruno Fernandes? Manchester United like Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes likes a move to Manchester United, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer likes Bruno Fernandes. There's your credibility if you want to go and find it. But the point is, United scouted this guy virtually every game last season. Every game. They do like him. They do want him. I just think it's negotiation tactics. McSauce starting over Matic, your thoughts, says Jimmy Marseille. Look, I think the problem with Matic is, even if we tried to sell him now, he's so slow, we wouldn't be able to sell him till next summer anyway. He's here now. He's so bloody slow, we're not going to get rid of him anyway. So, McTominay over Matic, I don't know. I mean, what is McTominay's best position? For me, I've seen we've seen a couple of goals from him, and you think, that driving forward, getting into the final third, is McTominay. But I think McTominay's a box to box. I don't think he's a CDM. So But I so don't rate Matic that maybe McTominay could do a better job there, but I don't think it's McTominay's position, if that makes sense. Would you ever do a meetup in Northern Ireland, says Aaron Gillespie? 100%, yes, definitely. Thanks for the contribution, Gin over 11. I'll be absolutely devastated if we sign no one. Also, I think Pogba will stay next season. We will offer him a new contract, says George Ramos. If Pogba signs a new contract and United give him a new contract, I will be really disappointed because it will be mercenary. I think Pogba wants to go for the right reasons. I think he wants to go to Real Madrid because it's a step up and it's a better team and it offers him the opportunity to win the Champions League. If he stays at United and signs a new contract, that to me says that's Paul Pogba, the mercenary, taking the money and not actually doing something that's right for his career. What I would like to see happen is Manchester United say to Pogba, you can go next summer, definitely. Just give us one more year. That, to me, is the ideal situation. I don't actually want to see Pogba given a 3 or 4 year contract. I don't want to see Pogba here for the next 3 or 4 years because throughout all this, drama about whether Pogba's going to stay or go, in my head, tell me, has Pogba been a good signing for United? Forget all the razzmatazz and whether we can replace him in the next 3 weeks or not. I agree we can't. But do you want him here for the next 4 years? Because I look at what Pogba's done in the last 3 years and it's massively inconsistent. And I've seen you all saying, how can he not get hold of a midfield against Cardiff or Huddersfield or Newcastle? How can he not do that? It's not about the players around him. He's had a shit game. So, look, Pogba's good on his day, but he's been very inconsistent at United. I just want one more year and then he can go, is what I would say. Fernandes equals top 4. No, Fernandes equals last season, says Daniel Priest. Tox Kazim's made a contribution, thank you. Here we go. United till I die. He's named 10 better centre-backs. So I have said Harry Maguire is in the top 10 centre-backs in Europe. So here we go. Challenge accepted. United till I die says Van Dijk, I agree. Laporte, De Ligt, initially I think I said De Ligt's better than Harry Maguire. His potential's better, but he's a 19-year-old lad who's played for Ajax and done well in the Champions League and did quite well for Holland. But is he better than Harry Maguire? Seriously? Is there a lot of difference between De Ligt and Harry Maguire? Or are you just getting lost in the fact that he held a microphone at 19 years of age and he's a good crowd pleaser and he's got great potential? I don't know about De Ligt. PK, I like PK, but is he on the wane now? Are you talking about prime PK? Yeah, he's better than Maguire. Are we talking about PK now? Bonucci, Chiellini, no way. I'm not having that Bonucci or Chiellini are better than Harry Maguire. And I know that could be a little meme, but don't cut it off there because what I'm saying is I'm talking about top 10 European centre-backs for Manchester United now. Harry Maguire's in it. I don't want Bonucci or Chiellini at Manchester United over Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire at 26 has still got a bit of growth left in him, dominant in the air, Premier League proven, makes hardly any mistakes, brings the ball out from the back. You put Bonucci or Chiellini at their age in a Manchester United defence, they'll get torn to shreds in the Premier League. They would. So you're just doing it on reputation there. Savic, Lucas Hernandez, Vertonghen. Well, I don't agree with any of those, to be honest with you. I don't agree with any of those. I thought you could have gone better than that. I think there's better options than those three, like Ramos, Varane. You haven't mentioned those two. Was he in training in Manchester but didn't travel, says Zachary Purvis. I don't know. Scott Damsel, hi Mark, I've been watching nearly every day since 50,000 subscribers. It's a great channel and congratulations on nearly 500,000. And Kilachi Gaming says, bet Fred can't even score on his honeymoon. Whoa, bawdy. And Mark Gordwin says, if we buy Harry Maguire for 80 million, do you reckon City could grab Koulibaly for the same price? I don't think the waters have been tested with Napoli. And I think that's a very good point from Mark Goodwin. And that is a concern of mine. That is a real concern of mine, is that Koulibaly has hinted that he wants to go. Imagine we spend 80 million on Harry Maguire and then Man City get Koulibaly for 80 million. That will be hard to swallow. Very hard to swallow. Because Koulibaly is better. And I don't think you named him in your 10 United till I die either. So I've given you 3 there that you didn't name. Mino and Paul, yeah, okay, let's have a quick look here. And can't bid 50 million. If we do, Woodward is off his head, says Jay Breezy Gaming. Talking about this alleged £50 million for Bruno Fernandes bid that could happen anytime in the next 3 weeks. 50 million's not enough. Look, I said it about Wan-Bissaka when we were meant to be offering 35 million and 40 million. All I said all along is Wan-Bissaka's worth 50 million in this transfer market. Some people agreed, some people didn't agree, but he is. He was. I know he's only had one good season for Crystal Palace, but he is an English right back, and there is a premium for that, and he's Premier League proven. Wan-Bissaka was worth 50 million, and I said it all along when we were negotiating, and I'll say it again now about Bruno Fernandes. He is worth 60 million. That is his price. 60 million. If we get him for less than that, great. But if we're not willing to go up to 60 million, we've got Plonkers in charge. He is worth 60 million pounds, and Manchester United need to get that deal done 100%. 100%. There can be no messing about with that. George Ramos, I disagree with you, Mark. Paul is good on his day, but he just needs better players around him. Nah, I don't. I think that argument is sort of, will you get a better Paul Pogba with better players around him? Yes, but does that excuse some of the performances he's put in as an individual against teams he should be doing far better against? Look, you don't become a shit player because you've not got good players around you. As an individual, if you drop Brian Robson into that team, he'd still be putting 8 or 9, 10 out of performances. Same with Roy Keane, same with Dennis Irwin, same with Gary Neville, same with Paul Scholes, same with David Beckham, same with Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, you can be a better team and have a better player with better players around them, but it doesn't mean you should be dropping 4 or 5 out of performances, which Pogba was. He should have still been putting in 6, 7, 8 out of 10 performances, and he didn't do that. And I'll argue that with anybody. I like Pogba, but I don't necessarily think we should be bending over backwards to give him a new contract. I want him to stay for another year, though. Loz Collins says, Fred has only had a few seasons and not many chances. I also think everyone's underrating him. I like Fred. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to get the chance under Ollie, and I don't think he's got a future at Manchester United. Ndidi would be an amazing signing, says Matthew Gordon. I think Ndidi would be a perfect signing for Manchester United. Absolutely perfect. But you know what? We've probably got more chance of signing Kante. There is no way we are getting Ndidi from Leicester. We're just not. Leicester have got too many players that we would like, and we're just gonna have to settle with one. We're gonna have to settle with one. Please do smash a like on the video, everyone. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. I can't believe how close we are to 500,000 subscribers. It's getting very exciting. I have got a bottle of gold bottle to pop live when it happens, or if we're not live when it happens, we'll pop it when we go live next. But we are live next at 3:30 in the morning UK time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing his press conference at 3 a.m. UK time. I don't know what time that is in Australia and all that lot. I think it's like, must be 10 a.m. or something like that. Cheeky sod. Think about it, like, Ollie, if you did it in the afternoon, we'd all be able to get up early and watch it. So 3 a.m. We will be live 3:30 a.m. 3:30 in the morning. We will be live, UK viewers. And for everybody else who it's a decent time, you get to see us like having to get up early in the morning. So that's when we're going to be live next. There won't be a transfer daily at 7 a.m. because obviously people who are waking up, they'll be getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction. But if you want to join me live for that, you know, some people in far-flung parts of Asia and America, you might actually get to watch the United stand at a decent time. So we will be live for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference reaction at 3:30 this morning. Why are Man United not doing a cash plus player deal, says Graham Smith? I think we get lost in those, Graham. I think actually when you look at swap deals and cash plus player deals, they are quite rare. You know, that Sanchez for Mkhitaryan thing surprised me. You don't normally see them happening. So look, what's happening with Lukaku, Graham? I think Lukaku's going to go. Where are Inter getting the money? And United aren't letting him go for cheap. Is there still a twist in the tail with that and Icardi? You know, who knows? Who knows? Thanks everyone for watching anyway. Please do smash a like on the video. Please smash a like on the video for everyone who called in. I love the Discord show on a Monday. We'll sort out the audio issues on that, but really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Nice to get everybody having their opinions, and we covered some good points. So please smash a like and support everyone for that. I shall see you for the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction. Have a great evening. I'll probably be a little bit tired when I'm live for you next, so I'll have a coffee on the go. But and we've got a game in a couple of days. We've got less Leeds. That's going to be a cracking game, you know. That's going to be a real tasty game against Leeds as well. Look, the quality might not be there because it's pre-season, but the fight will be there. Leeds against United. Dirty Leeds. I'm looking forward to that Wednesday lunchtime. Speak to you all soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Really loving the comments. And I'm live again in 6 hours, says Nashwin. Brilliant. And I've got to try and sleep and watch Love Island in between. See you soon. Thanks for watching.